Welcome to the last video on our State of the Union series on IT observability. In the previous videos, we covered feedback from your industry peers on their opinion if 2022 was a challenging year for monitoring and managing their hybrid environment. And then we asked them about if they can efficiently collaborate without the use of full stack observability tools. And then finally, we spoke about what your industry peers are getting or expecting from an IT observability tool, right? So for those who have not watched those videos, I highly recommend that you do that. So for this video, we will be talking about the goals that your IT peers have for IT observability for 2023. And just like the previous question, right, the users can select multiple answers. So I'll be covering each of them in more detail. The highest response was around 59% of the respondents wanting to automate their IT observability with remediation actions, right? So we all know there's an explosion of data and complexity in today's modern deployments, especially when you think about multi-cloud or hybrid cloud, right? So managing or monitoring or getting visibility into such an environment manually is challenging. And I believe that every IT team is inevitably going to run into major operational problems or issues as they try to handle this type of an environment, right, manually. So we need to provide complete control to IT teams in proactively preventing issues as well as streamlining the problem resolution. So IT teams obviously want to improve on their efficiencies and focus on mission critical tasks or projects instead of spending time in this constant firefighting mode to resolve disruptions, right? So automation, right, allows them to solve or resolve any of these challenges very quickly without any intervention, right? So for example, right, if you have certain policies being violated, right, for your security side, right, you can say before you go ahead and figure everything out, let's shut down the compromised virtual machine, or let's shut down the compromised virtual server, right? So in this way, being able to automate those actions and take those actions to minimize the penetration of the attack throughout your network is something that will be much appreciated. So that was just one example. So again, automation is key, right? So, or if you think about the performance case, right, where for a certain application, there is a need for additional resources, infrastructure resources, right? Being able to identify that and then assign the resources automatically, that is something that I think every IT team member will appreciate. 54% of the respondents said that their goal is to achieve full stack observability with metrics, traces, and logs, right? As mentioned in a previous video, right, these are the three key or critical pillars for any observability solution, right? When you have this true end-to-end visibility based on information from these three key metrics, traces, and log pillars, right? You can gain a clear picture into what's happening across your entire technology stack, right? So the metrics are going to help you figure out if a service or a component's overall behavior over time, right? So this is an example, it could be a CPU, memory, storage, network, or other data, right? So by having all these metrics, obviously you can correlate information across the entire infrastructure, right? And you can even correlate this back to your application performance, right? Next, on the traces side, if you dig in deeper into these pillars, right, traces brings contextuality in my mind, right? So it shows you how the components relate to each other, right? An example here could be your application dependency map, right? What makes up your entire multi-tier application? How is the traffic flowing? How is everything related to each other, right? So you can get that data. Logs, in the most simple terms, is a record of an event for an application or the infrastructure. So we'll be talking about these three pillars in a separate video in the future as well. 41% of the respondents said that their observability tools must include both performance and security. This is something I spoke about in a previous video, right? So in my mind, a well-performing network is a secure, a well-performing environment is a secure environment, while a secure environment is obviously a well-performing environment, right? So when a problem occurs, you can't separate things out, right? You don't know if it's a performance issue or if it's a security issue, right? So your observability goals must include this unified or correlated info, which is looking into both the performance and security challenges that could be occurring in your environment. Next, 30% of the respondents care about VDI or end user computing observability or troubleshooting to support that hybrid workforce, right? So in this so-called next normal, right? We can't call it new normal now. So the next normal with enterprise organizations, they're developing or deploying or planning VDI at a feverish pace to support their dispersed workforce, right? So it is important for the observability solution to proactively catch issues before real users are impacted, right? And this can be done by measuring metrics all the way from the user logon process to the applications itself, and then also understanding what is making up the dependencies for the entire VDI infrastructure. 30% of the respondents want to extend observability to the cloud. Cloud, I think we all know, is the future for all of our deployments. So some organizations already have a cloud-first strategy, right? Some may be employing a hybrid infrastructure strategy at this time. So the goal that these respondents have set, right, and have told us, right, they have the need for solutions that provide a complete end-to-end picture across these cloud boundaries, right? So you can't have a separate tool for the data center and then a separate tool for the cloud, right? So you need a solution that can analyze all of the traffic, all of the applications that exist and have dependencies across these boundaries. Finally, 20% of the respondents said that their goal is to extend IT observability capabilities from the technical KPIs or the key performance indicators to the business KPIs. At the end of the day, the IT environment is there to support the business, and it is expected that those individual KPIs, whether it's the application response time, whether it's the infrastructure performance, right? These technical or technology KPIs, they need to run at a parallel level to those business KPIs, right? So knowing the business KPIs will tell your IT team what they need to achieve so that they meet the company's objectives, right? So this is also going to help the IT team prioritize things that matter to them and the organization, and then probably ignore the rest or delay it to a later point of time, right? So that's all I wanted to cover as part of the IT Observability State of the Union series. I'm hoping the data we presented from your industry peers was very insightful, right? And will allow you to maybe define your strategy or validate your existing strategy, and to make sure if it is also in alignment with the rest of your industry, right? So thank you, and have a great day.